You've been told selling t-shirts and collectibles is the best way to make money as an artist. But I'm here to tell you, you've been lied to. Because for beginners, those popular products can turn to a trap. Upfront costs and profits so thin, you're basically working for free. And I've been a professional digital designer for 15 plus years. And today I'm ranking physical products in a tier list. So you know what to sell first and what to skip. But I want to start off with 2 products that make beginners money the fastest. So here are the rules for this tier list. S is the best. This is the best product you should probably get into with the best profit margin. A is really, really good. Something you should really consider. B is pretty good. It's not the worst. It's not the best, but it is solid. C is meh. It's something that I've seen work, but you know, nothing to brag about. D is not good, and F is terrible. Avoid at all costs. All right, so the first product on my list is stickers. Now, I know for a fact it's gonna shock people because why did I place stickers so high? And trust me, it's gonna make sense. So keep this in mind. Stickers is probably the cheapest way for you to get your artwork out into the world, right? So it doesn't cost much to do. You can market yourself by giving them away. You could sell them for $3 to $5. When I first started, I wish this was the product I started out with because it makes so much sense for you to do this just to get your name out as an artist. The only downside about stickers is you're just not gonna get rich off of them, unfortunately. The customer's not looking to spend a lot on stickers. Like definitely something I would look into. This is S tier. I don't care what anybody says, stickers is a must. All right, so for my next pick is one that I think not enough people talk enough about, and it might be one of my favorites. It's definitely my bread and butter. My next pick is art prints. Friend, let me tell you, not enough people give credit to art prints. And I know people say, it's just posters, it's not a big deal. No, this is a huge deal when you're a beginner, and I'll tell you why. You make the design once, and you could sell it in multiple sizes. And the margins are spectacular, especially if you're making them on your own. If you're using a print shop, it could be a little tough to squeeze margins out of it. You're probably gonna cost you between 10 or 20 bucks to make these art prints. And then if you wanna sell them, you probably have to sell it for twice the price, which would be like 40 bucks. But art prints really become something special when you're making them yourself. You can get yourself a professional printer for less than $1,000. Now, I know I'm throwing around money like it's not a big deal. I know what you're saying, Anderson, $1,000 is a lot of money. Yes, but if you're a good artist, you're making good designs, and you're selling to the right audience, you will make that money back so quickly. And then everything after that is pure profit. So I'm putting art prints in the S tier. Definitely give art prints a shot. I cannot sing art prints praises enough. So phone cases is weird because it's one of the things that everybody thinks is good, but I'm telling you, it is not the place to start, my friend. So I'm putting phone cases in the D tier. So this is the one that you need to stay away from when you're first starting out. So here's the deal. There's so many different iPhone sizes. So now if you make a design, then you have to have it in 3, like the iPhone regular size, the iPhone Pro size, the iPhone Max size. And then God forbid you have the same design and then the person doesn't even have iPhone, they have Android. Trust me, you're gonna be kicking yourself. Don't do it. So for my next pick, I'm gonna go with enamel pins, and this one is actually a B. I know some people are not gonna believe me when I say this, but there's so much good to starting out with enamel pins. There is a rabid community of people that love to collect these things. They put them on jackets, they put them on their coats, they put them on their bags. So there is definitely a market for this. Number one, they are so cheap to make. I had no idea that you can make enamel pins for less than $1 easy if you make the right amount. You could easily charge between 12 to 20 bucks for enamel pins and nobody will question it at all. And I think that's amazing. The only drawback about enamel pins is the more designs you do, the more expensive it gets very, very, very quickly. So if you do multiple designs, you could be in the hundreds to $1,000 mark. And if you're starting out, that's probably not where you want to spend all your money, to be honest with you, but the margins are incredible. So big fan of enamel pins. All right, so my next item on the list is tote bags, and I'm gonna give this an A, believe it or not. This one is super popular, and I'm happy to say that it makes total sense. What I really like about tote bags is it works for everybody. It works for guys, works for girls, works for old people, works for young people, and if you do it right, you could really market your brand. The only downside I can think about tote bags is I can see it being a little pricey, depending if you do screen printing or if you heat press it. Each one of those pretty much will make it more expensive than the other. So the next item on my list is going to be greeting cards. And this one, believe it or not, I'm going to give it an A. I hear about greeting cards a lot. It's super popular, but I don't see enough people in the artist community talking about it. What I really like about gift cards is it is evergreen. If you do something for the holidays, Valentine's Day, for anniversaries, every single year these things come back around. So if you make a design that speaks to that audience, you will always be able to sell that. And that is a huge plus. I think this is a great place to start. In fact, I don't see enough artists doing it. I've never done it. So the next item on my list are just a regular rounded buttons. I was going to give this a B, but that wouldn't make sense because rounded buttons are definitely not better than enamel pins. So I'm just going to drop this down to C. It's not the best. It's not the worst. I think it makes sense. I think it belongs right in the middle. The good news, they are cheap to make. They are super easy to make. In fact, I'm sure you can go to eBay right now, get a button maker for like less than $100. So that's the good news. The bad news is they also look cheap, right? Like you are probably going to have an easier time selling enamel pins than rounded buttons. All right, so for the next product on my list, I'm going to go with keychains. And this one, I think it belongs in the C tier. So here's the thing about keychains, right? I just think they're out of style. Also, they're not cheap to make either. Outside of stickers, enamel pins, I would say keychains are just a little bit more expensive and you don't get much of a payoff for doing that. All right, so the next item on my list is patches. And I was at first going to put this in the B, but I'm going to be honest with you, I think it's better in the C. And the reason why I say that is it's not the worst item. I think it's okay. I think there are certain people that are into it. If you're into the skate scene, if you're into the punk scene, I think people are into patches. But outside of that, I don't really see people really moving them like that. But as far as putting money in your pocket and you saying, hey, this is the thing I'm doing right out the gate, no. So the next item on my list is calendars. And I think this one, wow, yeah, this is another C. We're back to back with the C's. Calendars are usually only good for one part of the season, and that's in December. Every passing month, a person is probably not going to buy a calendar from you. So if you're able to set it up right, you're able to create your calendars and have it ready in the fourth quarter, then good on you. They might do well. But outside of that, I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze, as what some people may say. All right, so the next item on my list, I'm actually really excited about, and this is something I plan to do in the future, so stay tuned for that. And that's coloring books. I'm going to put this in the A. In fact, let's talk about the pros and the cons of coloring books. I'm gonna start with the cons. It is a lot of work, right? Most coloring books have 30 pages. So if you're designing it and you're making this by yourself, you are signing yourself up for 30 black and white designs. I know on paper that doesn't sound like a lot, but my friend, that adds up very quickly. Like, are you gonna be able to create a design a day? Probably not. It's probably gonna take you a lot longer to do that. Now, let's talk about the pros. Another thing that's good is it is an easy gift for people to buy to give to other people. It could be good for kids. It could be good for adults that just want to use it just to unwind and relax and just to do it on their free time. I don't see anything wrong with coloring books, hence why I plan to do one in the future. And another thing that people don't talk about is when you make a book as an artist, even if it's a coloring book, it just raises your status as an artist. People just look at you as more of a professional, just because as soon as they see a book, they think about it being in stores. They think about being, just a thing that people grew up with. So that's another thing to consider. All right, so we're about almost halfway through our list. And the next one I'm about to do, I promise you, is definitely gonna have some people upset. The next product on my list is gonna be drinkware. And I'm gonna put this, it's gotta go into D. Yep, it's got to go into D. Here's the thing about mugs or drinkware. This stuff breaks, right? If you ship it, it breaks. Now you have to give the person their money back and then you're out of product. I think if you go down the tumbler lane, it's a better sell, especially since Stanleys are so big these days. But like I said, these items are heavy. They are hard to ship. I just don't see it, to be honest with you. As you can see, I don't really have much good to say. If you're gonna do it, I hope it's a passion project, because from a business standpoint, this sucks. But it doesn't suck as much as the next thing I'm about to talk about. In fact, this next item, I'm telling you, people are gonna be shocked when I'm about to say. And the next item on my list is t-shirts. And usually, if you talk to anybody, they would put in A, but I'm not everybody. This is going in F. I think t-shirts is probably the most overhyped item any artist is told to sell. I'm going to give you a few reasons why you should not do it in the very beginning. Number one, sizes. I am telling you right now, sizes in itself put so many people out of business, put so many people in the poorhouse. Because think of it this way, right? Let's say you have one of the best designs in the world. You put it on a t-shirt. If the person who's willing to buy is not in their size, then that's it. It's done. So now you have to compete with trying to figure out what is the right size run to do for this design. Another thing with t-shirts is the colors. Certain people might want to design in one color, but once they see it in another, they're not going to purchase it. T-shirts, I'm telling you, is a headache. The one silver lining for t-shirts is the price margins are great. If you make enough t-shirts, and I'm telling you, you need to make like 100, 150 to get it under $3, $2 to where it makes sense, you're able to sell it for 30 bucks, 40 bucks, which is great. Those are great margins that you can't go wrong with. But if you show me a person that says, hey, t-shirts are the best business, I can show you 10 other companies that went out of business because they were doing t-shirts. I did a t-shirt brand for 10 years and then I switched to prints, right? After that, I made more money in prints that 1 year than I did in the 10 years of me running a t-shirt brand. So do what you want with that. And my next product is going to be hats. And I'm going to put that in the C tier. I want to put it in the B tier, but I need to be honest with myself. They are very expensive to make, so I got to put into the C tier. What I like about hats is it solves a problem that t-shirt has. Most hats you could sell at one size, which is amazing. That means if a woman sees it, she wants it, boop, puts it on her head, moves on. If a guy sees it, no big deal. If it doesn't fit the person, they probably have a big or small head. That's on them, not on you. But majority of people, they will be able to wear your product. The only problem is, I don't know if it's the best thing to start out with, unless you're really passionate about hats. You have this really good idea and you want to make a brand out of it. I wouldn't start out that way, but I do think it could work. Next one on my list is one that I haven't done yet, but I see it getting really popular in the last few years. And the next item I have is trading cards. I'm gonna place this in B. With trading cards, it's already built in that people want to collect these things. That's the whole point of trading cards, right? Trading cards don't cost much to make. They're literally the size of a business card. You can get like 1,000 business cards for like, I don't know, 30 bucks if you go to the right place. I've even seen some sites that will be able to help you to do a collection of trading cards for a pretty affordable price. When you're an artist, I don't care what you're selling, you need an item that's under $20 that a person can buy to learn about your brand. And I think out of most of the stuff I just talked about, a trading card is probably the most unique thing. This next thing I'm about to talk about, I really like it. I think it's super cool. I would never do it though. The next item on my list is skate decks. I always thought skate decks were cool. I thought the art was amazing. I never understood why people talk so badly about it as a product until a person said, the only people that buy this are skaters. If you're not a skater, why are you buying this? And then I said, damn, that's a very, very, very small niche. This next one, I feel like in the last few years has gotten really, really hot. So the next item I'm going to talk about is puzzles. And I'm going to put that in the C tier. I think this is a great second product. I don't know if it's the first product. I think if you do prints and then you do puzzles with it, I think that's amazing. I think that makes total sense. But as far as the person that buys this, it's good as a gift. But what makes it tough is how many people are buying puzzles these days. You know what I mean? All right, friends, we're at the home stretch. We are almost done. But we have some sleepers on here that we need to talk about. The next item on my list that I want to talk about is art books. My friends, if you want to do something really, really, really cool and put yourself into crazy debt, make an art book. Here's the thing. And I didn't know this was a thing until somebody told me. In fact, I think I was talking to Jeff Staple about this. Nobody makes money on books, period. People make books to elevate their brand, which I think makes total sense. But from a business standpoint, it is so expensive. The upfront cost is crazy. The next item on my list I want to talk about is comic books. Comic books is probably one of the most popular things that you're going to see on this list. If you hear an artist and they say that they are making a comic book, you're going to have nothing but questions, right? You want to hear like, what is it about? What you're doing? What does it look like? But here's the thing. Their comic books is probably the hardest way to start out, all right? It takes so much work to make the comic book. You have to write the comic book, right? Then you have to draw all the pages and the panels. Average comic book, let's say, has 20 or 30 pages. That's a lot of drawing. Oh wait, I didn't forget. Each page has 6, 7, 8 panels that you're drawing. It is a labor of love. Unless this is something that you're dying to do, that you need to put onto the universe, I would not start here. Don't let Marvel confuse you. This is hard, but not as hard as the next thing I'm about to show you. And the next item on my list is art toys. This is going to surprise people. Art toys belongs in the F column. It's in the F tier. Art toys is so hard to do right. People love them, right? I love art toys. I collect them. And when you do a toy run, you have to make a certain amount when you work with factories or they don't want to hear from you. Just to do a mold, like just to create the figure, you're spending like $5,000. And then to do the initial run, just a run, just the one product that you want to make after you make the sample, you're already out $20,000. Most people, if they were starting a business and the thing that they were doing was a risk and they wasn't even sure it was going to sell and to spend $20,000, they wouldn't be able to do it. So here's the thing about art toys, unlike t-shirts. If you make one good design, and it could be your first design, people will collect it and you can be the next hot artist off of one design. That's not happening with clothing. Clothing, you need a collection, right? Even with prints, you need a collection of prints. But for some reason, I don't know why, with toys, you do one really good design. I'm telling you, you could have thousands of fans overnight. But the next item on my list is a good in between being able to do something like a toy, something that's collectible and not as expensive. The next item on my list is plushies. I'm gonna put this in a C. And I just sat here and I just talked about how toys were a terrible idea. Anderson, why are you giving plushies? Why are you putting plushies in a C tier? And that's because they're not as expensive to make. They're just not. Anytime I talked to anybody that was able to do it, the turnaround was pretty quick. You get that same collectability like vinyl toys, which is really awesome. You can't sell them as much as you could a toy, right? Toys can sell in the hundreds. A plush, most people are not looking to spend more than like $20 or $30. All right, guys, we're down to the final 2. And I am happy to say that these are solid. So the next product I want to talk about is planners. I'm going to put that in the C tier. Even in the digital world, people still use planners, just as far as just making their appointments and stuff like that. To really gain the benefit of selling planners, you need to sell a lot. You need to first buy a lot to make it cheap enough, and then you have to sell a lot to make money off of it. I think it's a great add-on for your brand, like something that a person has just so they can remember you. I think it's a good giveaway item, but I wouldn't build a business around this. And all right, this brings me to the last one, but not least, but the next and final product is socks. And I was gonna put this in C, but I'm throwing it in B. I like socks. I think out of all the clothing products I talked about, I would say socks makes the most sense, right? Granted, I know everybody fits different sizes, but if you make socks, 90% of the people, women can wear them, men can wear them. That's great. They're lightweight. I'm not sure as far as how much it costs to make socks. I don't think it's too expensive. I think it's cheaper than what it takes. It's probably a little bit more expensive than making a t-shirt, but you're not going to run into the same problems. Like, people are not going to give you a hard time because the socks is a certain color. Like let's be for real. Like, if people are buying socks, they want fun socks. They want boring white or black socks. They want something that's exciting, that looks different. And I think that really plays into, you putting your design on there. I do think there are plenty of sock brands that we've seen that have done really, really, really well. Again, do I think this is the best thing to start out with? Maybe not, but it could be. I think this is a great way to get your designs out into the world. I think this is a great way to get people to find out who you are and what you're doing. And I also think it might be one of the easier ways, because you could just do a simple pattern, throw it on some socks, and then boom, you're all done. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here is our official list. Let me know if you like it, if you hate it, or if I missed anything. I definitely want to hear from you guys. I had a lot of fun putting this together. I know this is just based on my experience, but I want to help you guys. So when you start off in the right foot. Now, if you enjoyed this video, I know for a fact you are going to enjoy this next video that is meant for you. Until next time, peace.